Moi, j'enregistre les cours parce que je les passe au centre après.
OK. Alors, I'm going to mute myself.
That's a good idea. Okay. Aujourd'hui, so today we're gonna need a pillow if you have one, or something softer, or a blanket, which is fine. If you have a strap, I think you can see me well. I'm just gonna adjust my camera a little bit. You don't need to see the beautiful floor here. If you have a strap, I don't need my sunglasses either. A strap would be nice. If you don't have a strap, si vous n'avez pas de sangle, juste une grande serviette, a big towel will do because you can always roll it, or a belt or something from a bathrobe. Those are usually the longest and the best. If you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Don't go searching for everything. Just for the future time, always have like the essentials: strap, blanket. If you have blocks, yoga blocks, that would be great. But I'm not expecting everybody to have a whole yoga studio in their home. So we are going to start standing up. And I want you to feel your feet. Really feel the feet. Often we take it for granted. We're standing, of course, we're standing on our feet. On what else? But we really want to feel that we're balanced on our feet. So when I'm talking about the four corners of the feet, quand je parle des quatre coins du pied, je veux dire les deux points au talon, the two points at the heel, and then the 2 points at the ball mount of the toes. So those are the four corners of your feet, and they should be equally planted into the floor. Donc on devrait avoir le même poids. So to start, make sure your legs are straight, not too stiff. Les jambes sont droites, pas trop raides, and then just sway front and back. So a little bit more weight into the heels, a little bit more weight into the ball mount of the toes. Donc on va pas aller sur les orteils. So we're not going really leaning on the toes. It's really that below the, like on the ball mount of the toes, that we're bringing the weight. And I know for some of you, you lose sensations in the toes and in the fingers because of medication. So coming here might be just becoming again connected with your toes. And then see if you can come to the center and then swaying a little bit from side to side. Et puis on va aller d'un côté vers l'autre côté. So don't go too far. We don't need to lift the foot. We just want to bring the weight over from one side to the other. Donc juste amener le poids d'un côté sur l'autre. Lift your toes up this time. So we're back in the center. On lève les orteils. And feel the arches of your feet activating. Donc les arches de pied vont s'activer en levant les orteils. And see how much you can lift your toes. So again, for some of you, this might be very challenging because you lost that connection maybe with your toes. So lift the kneecaps. Automatically, normally when you lift your toes, your kneecaps are going to lift and your quadriceps are going to activate because the toes play quite a lot of importance in balancing. Donc les orteils jouent beaucoup d'importance dans l'équilibre. Donc quand on lève les orteils, il y a moins d'équilibre et les jambes doivent s'activer. And then slowly, one toe after the other, place your toes on the floor. Let's bring our hands onto our hips and bring the weight onto the left leg. So if you know your balance is not good, just get closer to a wall or a chair or something that you can put your hand on. So bring the weight onto your left leg. And then lift your right knee, bend your knee, and flex your foot. So your foot is flexed, not just hanging. Then everything becomes a weight. So you want to have your left leg, your standing leg, strong, your foot flexed, your knee about at the height of your hip or lower, not higher. Otherwise, you're going to start to round your spine. Hands on the hips, and then start to open your leg towards the side. So the right leg goes towards the side. Ma jambe droite va vers le côté. So don't hesitate to use a support here. Don't lean on your support, and then coming back to center and bring the foot down. La jambe droite, solide. So again, find the four corners of your foot, especially on the right, and then lift your left leg. On lève la jambe gauche, fléchir le pied, les mains restent sur les hanches. Si les mains bougent, ou sur le mur naturellement, si les mains bougent, on perd notre centre de gravité. Et on commence à ouvrir. Donc, on ne veut pas aller au point où on fait une rotation dans la colonne. You don't want to rotate in the spine. So, depending on your hips, you will be able to open a little bit more, a little bit less. Et on revient au centre et on dépose le pied. Bring the arms alongside the body, les bras le long du corps, and lift your shoulders up to your ears. Les épaules vers les oreilles. And then as you exhale, drop it all down. So really feel that release. Let's do this 2 more times. And 1 more. And shake it up. Bring the hands onto your shoulders this time. Les mains sur les épaules. And then bring the elbows to the front, les coudes vers l'avant, and start to make circles with your shoulders. So you want to feel the shoulders moving here. On veut sentir les épaules qui bougent. Don't go too fast, don't go too slow. Just find the speed that you can feel. 2 more times in this direction. 2 autres fois dans cette direction. Et puis on ramène les coudes vers l'avant, elbows back to the front, and now change direction. Just for 3 times. On va vers l'avant juste pour 3 fois. And then coming back. And now open your elbows, open your arms. Les paumes des mains vers le ciel. So the palms of your hands are going up towards the sky. Now, are your shoulders kissing your ears? On ne veut pas que les épaules embrassent les oreilles. So roll the shoulders back. Roulez les épaules en arrière, les omoplates en arrière. Puis on va voir si on peut amener les bras un peu plus vers l'arrière. So bring your arms a little bit more to the back. So if you have scars or scar tissue here, you will feel probably a little bit of a pull. So for you to find the edge, essayez de trouver vraiment la frontière, si vous avez des cicatrices, la frontière de où est-ce que ça tire beaucoup trop et où est-ce que c'est confortable. So we want to bring the arms back, palms up. You probably feel stretching into the forearm. Vous allez sans doute sentir un étirement dans l'avant du bras. Just watch out, don't push your belly forward. So if you know that you have a tendency to curve into the spine, bring your tailbone down. So open up a little bit more. And now lower your arms. On descend les bras un tout petit peu. We gotta turn the palms to the back. On va tourner les paumes vers l'arrière. So feel that movement in your shoulders. And then see if you can bring the arms a little bit more to the back. Peut-être qu'on peut amener les bras un peu plus vers l'arrière. So here it's not so much the front of your spine, of your chest that's opening, but it's more the shoulder blades that are coming together. Donc les omoplates se rapprochent ici. And then lower the arms a little bit more. On descend les bras un peu plus. Et puis cette fois-ci, est-ce qu'on peut entrelacer les doigts? Can we interlace the fingers? If this is difficult, bend your elbows and then interlace your hands. Roll the shoulders back. Elbows come and stretch out now. So we're opening the chest. As it's winter still, where you are, it's cold, we have a tendency to close off the chest. So let's see if we can open up to find some breath. And then from here, can you lower your hands? And again, watch out, don't curve your spine. So keep the tailbone going down if you have that tendency. D'ici, take a step forward, a small step, not too big. On prend un pas en avant avec la jambe gauche ou droite, ça n'a pas d'importance. On va garder les épaules bien en arrière, les hanches parallèles avec l'avant du tapis. So the hips are parallel with the front of your mat. So we're not twisting here. And then inhale and go forward from your hip crease. So straight back. We're warming up the legs here. If you need a bit more stability, you can walk your left foot or your front foot a little bit more out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Is your front hip moving forward? Donc, si la hanche de devant va vers l'avant, essayez de l'amener un peu plus vers l'arrière. Inspirez, expirez. Inspirez, expirez. How does this feel? Are you like, my back, legs, I don't want to stretch them. So very important to stretch the hamstrings to have a healthy lower back. And then slowly press into your feet. Poussez dans les pieds afin de revenir et se lever. And then release your arms. You can roll them out a little bit, maybe flapping your wings in every direction. So just see what you need, because we're going for the other leg. So if this was too much for you, and because we're going to do it again, if this was too much for you, just keep your hands on your hips, gardez les mains sur les hanches si c'était trop, mais roulez les épaules en arrière, les coudes en arrière. So the principle is the same, except there is less pull. We still want to keep those shoulder blades together. So again, bring the, interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders, shoulder blades together, shoulders down, and then lengthen your arms. On allonge les bras. Take a step forward with the other foot, and then find your distance, find your stability. Take a breath in, strong legs. Donc les jambes sont très fortes ici, on pousse les pieds dans le sol, and then from the hip crease, so not from the lower back, but from the hip crease, as if you're reaching forward with your nose, and then lengthen your arms. Your arms can rest on your tailbone, or your hands can rest on your tailbone rather, or you can lift them up, but the shoulders remain rolling back. So if you have your hands on your hips, roll them back and lift the elbows up. Inspirez, expirez. And then press into your feet and come all the way up. So what we really want to avoid is pulling with the lower back. Okay. So let's keep the feet as wide as our hips. And then let's inhale, reach the arms up. So if this is not accessible for you, stay where it's accessible for you. Reach the arms up or wherever they are. Press your feet down and lengthen out. So we want to lengthen the sides of our body. So if you cannot lift your arms, keep your hands onto your hips or onto your shoulders, but see if you can wiggle yourself up. So lengthen out. Press your feet down. Lift the kneecaps. On lève les rotules des genoux. Tailbone goes down. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then turn the palms out and come back. So we're gonna do a balance movement. If you know your balance is not the greatest, you can use a wall. So you can come and stand at the wall about a foot away from the wall, and your feet are separated. If you don't have a wall, but you have a chair, it's not going to be a balance anymore. But that's okay, we're doing a balance and a hip opener. So you're going to use the chair and sit on the chair. This one is rather difficult to have the chair in the front, although you could probably use a chair as well to hold yourself on. You just have to make sure that your spine remains straight. So if you just want to give it a try without any support, that's fine too. Feet a little bit wider than the hips, and then bend your knees a little bit. Bring your hands onto your hips. On amène le poids dans la jambe gauche, so weight into the left leg. Les genoux sont légèrement pliés. Lift the right leg as we did before, and then open your knee. Donc on va ouvrir le genou, and this time you place your ankle just above your knee. Donc la cheville juste au-dessus du genou. You want to have this right foot flexed Donc le pied qui est levé est fléchi pour protéger les genoux. Hands onto the hips. And then slowly maybe start to go down. So bending the supporting leg. On plie la jambe qui nous supporte. The hands are still on your hips. So it's a lot of work here. So if you're using the chair, you are going to sit on the edge of the chair, bring the foot up in the same way. And when we're going to go forward, you can go forward as well. So you want to keep this foot flexed. If you're using the wall, you're about a foot away from the wall, you have your bum and your shoulders against the wall, and then you bring the leg up. You can have your fingertips against the wall, and eventually push yourself up and then go sit a little bit deeper. Okay, now we come back. On revient où on était. If you're stable, bring your hands in front of your heart. So you can do that if you're seated or if you're stand alone. If you're against the wall, fingertips against the wall. Inhale. Again, from the hip crease, à nouveau de la charnière des hanches. If you want, go a little bit more forward and feel what happens in your right hip. Sentez ce qui se passe dans la hanche droite. Inspirez, expirez. If you feel that you're falling out, anticipate it and come out elegantly. Donc, si on sent qu'on va tomber, à ce moment-là, on veut anticiper un peu et sortir élégamment. And then come up with your upper body and release, release. So we're going to go to the other side. So your feet are a little bit wider than the hips, les pieds un peu plus larges que les hanches. Bend your knees, on plie les genoux, on amène le poids sur la jambe droite. So first of all, you really need to feel that you're stable there. If you already start to dance here, you might just want to go to the wall. And one side can be very different than the other. Hands onto the hips, lift the left knee, on lève le genou gauche, on plie le genou et on dépose la cheville au-dessus du genou. So don't put the ankle bone on the knee. Come a little bit higher with your ankle. And long upper body. Le haut du corps est long. And then start to bend your supporting leg. On plie la jambe qui nous supporte. If you're stable, si on est stable, on met les mains devant le cœur. De la charnière des hanches, donc le haut du corps reste bien allongé. From the hip crease, start to move forward. Look at the point on the floor that doesn't move. I have a fly flying around here, so that's not a good point, a good place to look at. Keep on breathing calmly. You might observe that your breath becomes very calm when you find your balance. Et puis tout doucement, on se relève. And coming back. Okay, so we are going to go move a little bit on the floor. So if there's some of you that really can't follow, let me know. I'll make some adjustments. The strap will be for at the end, so that we can put on the side for now. So we're going to come to the front of the mat. On va venir à l'avant du tapis. Come into your mountain pose, position de montagne, which means you're in a pose that you could stand for hours. So you need to find your balance here. Balance, strength, stability. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Sorry. Take a deep breath in and exhale. So as we inhale, feel how your body is almost growing. Quand on inspire, on sent presque comme si on grandit. And as we exhale, stay in that grandeur. Stay in that tallness. And then let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands into the hips. And I'm doing this on purpose so that we find the good place to bend. Your hands into your hips, lower your hands to your hip crease. So my hips are here, the hip bones, and I'm lowering almost in my groin area. Because when I want to start moving forward, that's from where I'm tilting. Donc je plie dans la charnière. If I keep my hands on my hips, most probably I'm going to bend with my spine. Donc on veut garder la colonne droite pour protéger le bas du dos. This might be beginner stuff for some of you, but I think it's always a good reminder. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, start to bend forward. At a certain moment, your hamstrings are not going to be happy anymore. Donc à un certain moment, vos ischio-jambiers vont dire non, pas pour moi. Then you start to bend your knees. You don't want to come to the point where it's pulling in your lower back. Commence à plier les genoux, and then slowly let your upper body roll down, your head roll down. Donc, je laisse aller le haut du corps, la tête, your arms, just your belly can rest onto your thighs. Le ventre peut se reposer sur les cuisses. Prends une bonne inspiration, expiration. Your feet can be together or as wide as your hips. I forgot to tell you that, but that's traditional Tadasana. And then inhale. Bring your hands onto your thighs. On amène les mains sur les cuisses. On roule les épaules en arrière, les coudes vers le ciel. Shoulders back, elbows towards the sky. And then start to lengthen your legs. On allonge les jambes, on allonge le dos. And looking not forward to the wall or whatever you have in front of you, but diagonally down. You don't want to look straight down. You want to look diagonally down. Press your hands into your thighs. On pousse les mains dans les cuisses. Est-ce qu'on sent les pieds sur le sol? Do you feel your feet? As we did in the beginning, the ball mounts of the feet and the heels. Reach your heart forward. Le cœur vient vers l'avant. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And then exhale again. Let your upper body float down. On laisse aller le haut du corps. If need be, bend your knees. Si besoin, pliez les genoux. Drop your head. Bring your hands to the floor, so you might have to bend your knees a little bit more. Les mains au sol, pliez les genoux un peu plus. Et puis on amène le pied droit en arrière. Right foot back, right knee on the floor. Genou droit au sol. If you have knee problems, si vous avez des problèmes de genoux, blanket, absolutely. Or roll the mat double. Blanket, even a pillow, just place it under your kneecap, placez-le sous la rotule du genou. So you don't want to have to hold into your knee because we're stretching, remember? So your left knee is on top of your left heel. Genou gauche au-dessus du talon gauche. My back foot, you can tuck your toes or untuck your toes, whatever you need to do. And then inhale, come up. On se lève. Les mains sur la cuisse gauche. So bring your hands onto your left thigh. You should feel an opening into the right groin area. Donc on sent une ouverture dans l'espace de l'aine droite. If you don't feel anything, you might have to move your knee a little bit more back. But before you do that, let's inhale. On inspire, and then let go into the hips. So we're opening up into the hips. If you're sitting on the chair, I forgot about the chair, sorry. If you're sitting on the chair, you're gonna sit with your left leg on the inside of your chair, and then your right leg is going back. You sit as far away as possible. Watch out that the chair doesn't fall. And then you try to have weight into your right hip. So you want to really go and open it up. You can start to bend out your right leg if you're on the chair. Donc, quand on est sur la chaise, on peut étirer la jambe droite. Quand on est au sol, on reste ici. So gravity is opening up here. If you want to add your arms, you can add your arms up. You can do a cactus, You can keep your hands on your thigh. Inspirez, expirez, laissez aller. So especially for those who do cross-country skiing these days, this is a really good one to do before and after cross-country, opening up that groin area. We use those muscles a lot when we do cross-country skiing, so stretching them out after is great. And then place your hands down, tuck your toes under, lift your back knee, and bring the right foot forward. Again, bring your hands to your thighs, roll the shoulders back, lengthen your spine, on allonge la colonne. Inspirez. If you want to go a little bit further here, you can bring your arms to the side like an airplane. But watch out for your lower back. You don't want to start to compensate in your lower back. On ne veut pas compenser dans le bas du dos. So if your abdominals are weak, you're going to start to compensate. If you're strong here, you can explore, bring the arms forward. Again, looking diagonally, like in the front, and reaching out, straight legs, feet solidly planted on the floor, strong back. So watch out for the lower back here, and then bring the hands back to the thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the hands down, hands on the floor. And this time, left leg back. So if you're on the chair, turn around and bring the left leg to the back. See if you can drop the left hip. So find that stability first. On trouve l'équilibre. Bring the hands onto the thigh and then letting go. So if you don't feel anything in the left groin when you let go, bring your hands down and bring the knee closer or further. So you want to really play with the distance of your knee. So this should feel pretty good. You don't have to do anything, so don't push down. Just let gravity play here. Inspirez, expirez. And then if you want to add your arms, lift up. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Tuck your back toes. This time we're going to bring the right foot back. On va amener le pied droit en arrière. You still want to lift your left knee and then bring your right leg back and bring both your knees down. So come into your tabletop. On vient en table. If your wrists are hurting, you can always come onto your fists. If that's really too much, what you can do is take a little towel, roll it up, so really, really little. So what we're trying to do is to diminish the bend into the wrists. And then you're going to place your hands, your fingers on the floor and the heel of your hand on that little towel. That's going to reduce the bend into your wrists. It's not that comfortable, but it's definitely going to help. So from here, let's go for 5 rounds of cat and cow. On va pour 5 chien et chat. And I'll show you in a minute you can do that on the chair as well. So take a breath in, lengthen your spine. Find a neutral spine. So make sure you have enough space between your hands and your knees. Inspirez. And then as you exhale, tailbone goes down, belly button up. On pousse le nombril vers le ciel. Poussez dans les mains, press into your hands, bring the shoulders forward, and then automatically the neck is going to follow and the chin comes to the chest. Donc le cou va suivre et le menton vient à la poitrine. And then inhale, start from the tailbone, belly button down. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen your neck, and then look up. And so go for 4 more like that. If you're doing it on the chair, you're going to sit on the edge of the chair, place your hands onto your knees, so a little bit higher than your knees, and you're going to do the same thing, inhaling. So starting from the tailbone, press your belly button forward, hold on to your knees, Roll open the chest and then look up to the sky. And then as you exhale, the movement comes really from the belly button. Hold on to your knees here. Round the spine, bring the chin to the chest and see if you can push your spine back. So do this. I don't know where you are in your count, but after 5, come back to neutral spine. This is a perfect movement to do first thing in the morning. Don't do it in bed, it's too much for your wrists. So when there is instability under your hands, your wrists have to compensate, not too much. It's a little bit like when you're walking and there's a stone that you didn't see and you flip off, your ankle is not going to be very happy. So it's the same thing. And then coming back to that neutral spine. On revient en dos neuf. Bring the knees a little bit closer. On amène les genoux un peu plus proches. Keep the hands where they are. You can also come onto your forearms for this one. Donc, si les poignets font trop mal, venez sur les avant-bras. And then we're going to lift the right leg up. And if you can, stretch out the right leg. So lots of work in the abdominals here. Try not to lean over to the left. On essaie de ne pas tomber vers la gauche. If this is too much, you keep your knee bent. Donc, on veut aller travailler un peu les abdominaux et la jambe. If you're seated on the chair, so those who are not on the chair, stay where you are. You're going to just lift your leg up to the front. It's more difficult to lift it to the side on the chair. And then come back to center, on vient au centre, and then let's go to the other side. So knees are together, hands are apart or on your forearms, et on lève l'autre jambe. Le pied est fléchi, so flex your foot, and then if you can, if you can, stretch out your left leg, yeah. So I feel I'm leaning over to my right, so I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit, see if I can stabilize in my hips. Make sure you're breathing. On continue de respirer. On plie les genoux et on revient au centre. Come onto your knees. So again, we do a lot of knee work, but if you have padding under your knees, you should be okay. So on the chair, instead of placing your hands onto your bum, what we're going to do, you're going to hold onto the chair. So sit at the edge of your chair. If you're here, tuck your toes for a little bit more stability. On va retrousser les orteils. And then press your hips a little bit forward, tailbone down. Donc on descend le coccyx. Les hanches vont rester au-dessus des genoux. So that's quite important. Your hips will stay above your knees. We already worked in opening the groin area, so it should go a little bit easier. Hands onto your bum. So the heel of the hand is on the bony part of your sacrum, and your fingers are just gently tapping on your bum. Roll the shoulders back. On roule les épaules en arrière, les coudes en arrière. So again, the chest opening as we did in the beginning. Now, we're going to go into a back bend. On va aller en arrière. But we're not bending in the lower back. That's why you need to keep your tailbone down. Il faut qu'on garde le coccyx vers le bas parce qu'on va commencer avec le haut. If your neck is not a happy camper, just continue looking forward. If you're okay with your neck, we're going to start from the occiput where the neck and the skull touch. Inhale, on inspire, on allonge le corps, bring the tailbone down, and then slowly start to lift your chest up to the sky. On commence à lever la poitrine vers le ciel. Inspirez, expirez, on va vers l'arrière. On pousse les hanches vers l'avant. Press your hips forward and gently go back. So imagine that your spine is gradually going backwards. So it's not sinking in the lower back. If your lower back hurts, then you come up a little bit. You see if you can bring the tailbone a little bit lower. Inhale, lifting and exhaling a little bit further. Make sure you continue breathing. On s'assure qu'on continue à respirer Roll the shoulders back. It's going to help opening up. It's a heart opener, so for some people, it's only emotions come out, that's okay. It's good. For others, they stop breathing because we don't know where we're going. So it's fear that installs itself. So then you come up a little bit, you find your breath, and then you go back. If it's enough for you, you come up. And then slowly coming back. So this one you can also do, so shoulder opener, chest opener. You can also do seated on the chair. I'll just show you because you can do it any time of the day. So you sit at the edge of your chair, you hold on to the chair, roll the shoulders back, elbows back, and you do the same thing. It's easier because everything is stable here. But with the one that we just did on the floor, you're also stretching your quadriceps. Okay. So from here, let's go and sit onto our bum. One important thing, when you sit and you know that you're falling back, so that you're actually falling on the back of your sitting bones, it's always a good idea to have a little pillow or a blanket or something, and then just sit on the edge so you can flip into your hips and come and sit straight. So I'll show it from the front. What we're going to do, we're going to open up the inside of our legs. So you can do this on the chair, just come again on a safe edge and then open your legs up. So opening the legs, we don't need to go into a split. So somewhere halfway, quelque part entre les deux, entre les jambes ensemble et le split. Si pour vous, les genoux sont trop pliés, if your knees are too much bent because of tight hamstrings, you want to place something soft underneath. You don't want to have to hold here. Donc on ne veut jamais devoir tenir dans les genoux parce qu'on ne sait pas étirer. So lengthen out the legs. Toes up, kneecaps up. Bring your hands in the back. On amène les mains à l'arrière, les doigts vers l'arrière. So find that length into your spine. You can press into the floor to find length. We just don't want to lift up our bum here. Inspirez. Et peut-être que pour vous, vous sentez déjà l'étirement à l'intérieur des cuisses. Maybe you already feel enough of stretch. If you don't feel enough, walk your hands a little bit closer to your bum. On amène les mains un peu plus proches des fesses. Gardez le dos bien allongé. So keep the spine long. And don't forget, your neck is part of your spine. So don't start to look forward and say, yeah, I'm almost there. Just keep your neck long. If this is still comfortable, and if you know that when you bring your hands to the front, you're not rolling back, you can bring your hands to the front. And then walk maybe your hands a little bit more to the front. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine, and exhale, go forward. So don't force. All the muscles in our legs are so important. Donc les muscles dans nos cuisses sont vraiment importants. On les emploie tout le temps, tout le temps, tout le temps. So if you force them and you need to heal, it's going to take a long time. Inhale. So my spine is still straight. And then with the next exhale, hands on the floor, and then you can start to round the spine. On commence à arrondir le dos. No sensations in the lower back. On sent rien dans le bas du dos. So if you feel something in the lower back, that's your limit, that's your edge. If you are very flexible, you can bring the forearms down. If you're extremely flexible, you can lengthen out your arms forward and bring your forehead down. You just go ahead and do where you are. Take a few breaths here. See if you can relax a little bit more into the hips. Est-ce qu'on peut relâcher un peu plus dans les hanches? And slowly walk your hands back. On marche les mains vers l'arrière. And then close your legs. Bring the soles of the feet together. On amène la paume des pieds ensemble. And here you're going to take your strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry. You're just going to grab your ankles. Si vous n'avez pas de sangle, juste prendre les chevilles. So place the strap on the outside of your feet. so around my toes. What this does is it gives me a little bit more space for my spine. So it's the same principle of straight spine, la colonne est allongée. Je tiens la sangle là où je peux plier mes coudes. So you want to have your elbows bent here. Lengthen your spine, pull onto the strap. And then open your elbows, but without bringing your shoulders up. Donc, on ne veut pas amener les épaules vers le ciel, mais on va ouvrir les coudes. Keep on pulling onto your feet. So it's not a matter of lifting your feet. You don't have to pull that much. Inhale, lengthen. And then from your hip crease, de la charnière des hanches, start to go forward a little bit, if it's accessible. If you can push your elbows into your legs. On peut pousser les coudes dans les jambes si c'est accessible. And now just observe for a moment. Where are you holding? Où est-ce qu'on retient? 99% we're holding into the hips. So can you from here, maybe with your eyes closed, take a breath in and exhale, release into those hips. On relâche dans les hanches. So the hips are made to hold us up, and they do a gazillion ton of things for us. So can we also give that order to the hips to release a little bit, to open up? We're holding a lot of tension into the hips. And again, no sensations in the lower back, pas de sensation dans le bas du dos. And then slowly come up. And take the strap away. And then bring the knees together. Lengthen the left leg. On allonge la jambe gauche et on amène le pied droit au-dessus de la jambe gauche. So bring your right foot over your left leg. Make sure you're sitting straight to start. So interlace your fingers, place them just below your knee, not behind your thigh, but below your knee. My right foot is on the floor. Donc mon pied droit est au sol. Quitte à ce que vous avez amené la jambe gauche un peu plus en diagonale. If you need to bring your left leg a little bit more diagonally to the right, so that your right foot can rest on the floor, that's okay. So hold on, roll the shoulders back, lengthen your spine. On allonge la colonne. Inspirez, expirez. Now, take your left arm, on prend le bras gauche et on fait un câlin à notre genou droit. So maybe you have to bring the knee a bit closer. So hug your right knee, with your left arm. And I can hold my left wrist with my right hand. And then again, find length. We are already a little bit rotated. Il y a déjà une légère rotation. So find space here. On trouve de l'espace avant de continuer de bouger. And then lift your right arm up. On lève le bras droit. And then start to rotate towards the right. On commence à faire la rotation vers la droite. Lengthen your body and then bring the right hand on the floor in the back. On amène la main droite, mais on reste bien droit. Continue hugging your right knee in. On continue de tirer le genou droit vers soi avec notre bras gauche. And now roll the right shoulder back and shoulder blade down. L'épaule droite vers l'arrière et l'omoplate vers le bas. Inspirez, on allonge. Expirez dans le ventre. Est-ce qu'on peut ouvrir un peu plus? You can just look to the side or you can look to the back, whatever is comfortable for you. You don't need to continue rotating, just find some peace to say in this pose. Donc on va essayer de trouver un peu de paix, de calme dans cette pose en essayant de respirer calmement. Maybe your belly is making all kinds of noises. Les organes sont très contents, ils reçoivent un petit massage. And then slowly coming back, tout doucement, on revient au centre. On peut faire une légère contre-rotation, just very gently counter-rotate. Nothing forceful, just. And then lengthen your right leg. On allonge la jambe droite. On plie le genou gauche et on amène le pied gauche au-dessus de la jambe droite. À nouveau, si vous avez besoin de bouger la jambe diagonalement vers la gauche. So left foot over the right leg. Foot is flat on the floor. You can move your right leg a little bit diagonally to the left if you need to. First, interlace your hands. Hold on below your knee. Roll the shoulders back. Lengthen your spine. On allonge la colonne. Inspirez. Expirez. On trouve de l'espace. Open your right arm. Le bras droit. And then hug your left knee. So one side can be very different than the other. Just observe, just be aware of it. If you know it's something that's really muscular because you're always doing stuff with one side, you might want to correct that. If it's more structural, so the bones, then there is little we can do about it. So inhale, pull the left knee in. Lift your left arm up, on lève le bras gauche, and then start to slowly rotate and then bring the left hand down. On amène le bras gauche en arrière. So before you start to really open, roll the left shoulder back and down. On ouvre l'épaule gauche. Inspirez, allongez. Feel it in your belly, feel it in your chest. So every inhale gives you space. Every exhale gives you space, but in relaxation, in rotation. Two more breaths here. Deux autres respirations. And then with an exhale, coming back to center, gentle counter rotation, légère contre-rotation. And then coming back to center. And then both legs to the front. So we're gonna move to the floor. We won't move away from the floor anymore. So if you need to take your time to move to the floor, go ahead. Take your strap with you. If you have neck issues, it might be a good idea to just have a blanket under your head, but not under your shoulders. So you wanna have your head a little bit higher, but not under your shoulders, otherwise they're gonna fall forward. So come down on the floor, keep the knees bent, press into your feet, lift your hips a little bit, and then see if you can, with your hands, roll the skin of your bum towards your knees. So we're gonna bring the lower back flat on the floor. On amène le bas du dos plat au sol. Take your strap, on prend la sangle. If you don't have a strap, I'll give you what to do in a moment. And then place the strap around your right foot. So what we're going to do is lengthen out the leg. On va allonger la jambe. So if your hamstrings are short, then your leg might even be just off the floor. That's fine. So the most important is to have the knee straight. Le plus important, c'est d'avoir le genou droit. If you don't have a strap, you're going to have to do it without strap, which is a little bit more work into your quadriceps. But you still want to press the heel away, press the hip down. My left knee is still bent. Mon genou gauche est toujours plié, mon pied au sol. So here, really as you inhale, press your right heel up, push your right hip into the floor. If your strap is long enough, your elbows are on the floor, your shoulders are relaxed. Donc si la sangle est assez longue, les coudes sont pliés au sol et les épaules relaxent. If your strap is too short, then you're going to lengthen out the arms, but see if you can roll the shoulders back. Donc à ce moment-là, si la sangle est trop courte, prenez la sangle, mais les bras droits, pas comme quelque part entre les deux. So it's or straight or on the floor, either one. Press your heel up, push your hip down. As if you're feeling that stretch into your inner leg. So the goal is not to bring your foot to the back. You don't want to go further than 90 degrees with your body. And then take your strap into your right hand. On prend la sangle dans la main droite, whether with a straight arm or with your elbow on the floor. You're going to start to open the left knee. On va commencer à laisser tomber le genou gauche vers l'extérieur as you're opening your right leg. Donc, on va ouvrir la jambe droite vers le côté. So again, if you don't have a strap, you're not going to really go for the stretching in the inner thigh, but you're going to go for the strengthening. So it's a different movement, but we do what we can, okay? The left leg is like a counterweight so that our hips remain on the floor. And if you have the strap, then your upper right arm can be on the floor. Relax your leg. On relaxe la jambe, mais on plie pas le genou. Try not to bend your right knee, but relax your leg so that your hip again can relax, your inner thigh can relax. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly coming back up. On revient au centre, on amène la jambe vers le ciel, la jambe droite, and your knee is back, your left knee is back pointing towards the sky. And now, as if you caught a fish, you're going to pull it in, pull your foot in. So if you don't have a strap, bend your right knee. And then if you have the strap, just put it on your chest for a moment. Grab your right foot with your left hand. So I'm wrapping my fingers around my foot, and then I'm going to bring my right hand on the outside of my right knee. Move your knee a little bit out. On bouge le genou un peu vers l'extérieur. And then see if you can bring your lower leg closer to your chest. So we're doing a pigeon pose, but on our back. On fait un pigeon, mais sur le dos. And then you can lift your left leg. On peut lever la jambe gauche. Leave the knee bent, leave the foot relaxed, and gently start to press your thigh onto your ankle or wherever it's going to press. So don't start to lift your lower back. Keep the lower back on the floor here. Take a few breaths in, and again, feel that opening in the hip. And then exhale, bring the left foot on the floor, pied gauche au sol, et le pied droit au sol à côté. So stay here for a moment. Take your strap or take your invisible strap, place it around your left foot, and stretch out your leg. So you want to feel something in your hamstrings. We did some hamstring stretchers, so maybe you don't feel as much as usual, or maybe you feel more than usual. You have to approach your practice every day as if it's the first time that you do it, that you do this pose. So we don't want to really compare and then get frustrated or get super happy. So meaning getting attached to certain feelings. We want to be in the moment. So push your heel up. On pousse le talon vers le ciel. On pousse la hanche vers le sol. Your toes are parallel with the ceiling. Donc les orteils sont parallèles avec le plafond ou avec le mur, dépendant où est votre jambe. So you're not moving in your ankle. Donc on bouge pas dans la cheville. Les orteils en ligne avec le genou. It's a better way to see it. Taking the strap into your left hand, la sangle dans la main gauche, and then slowly, as you start to open your left leg to the left, you drop your right knee to the right. And I have to wiggle around, I have a wall. So opening up, counterweight. So you don't want to come and have all the weight onto your left leg, left hip. On ne veut pas avoir tout le poids sur la hanche gauche. So really finding that balance in the hips. On essaie de trouver l'équilibre dans les hanches. Si on a une sangle, if you have a strap, so really hold on to the strap so you can relax your leg, you relax your hip. Two more breaths here, deux autres respirations. And slowly bring the leg back up. And then bring in the fish again. On ramène le pied gauche. On prend le pied gauche avec la main droite. You can put the strap to the side now. Main gauche sur le genou gauche. So left hand onto the left knee. And then first of all, see if you can bring that leg closer to your chest. The left knee is going to move out a little bit more. So find, the movement is coming from the hip. Le mouvement vient de la hanche. Essayez de trouver la mobilité dans la hanche. C'est pas le genou nécessairement qui va bouger, c'est vraiment dans la hanche. Si on commence à bouger les genoux, c'est pas bon pour les genoux. And then lift your right thigh and gently push, relax your right foot, feel the opening in the hip. And then slowly letting go, on laisse aller. Place your right foot on the floor, left foot on the floor. So keep your knees bent for now. We're gonna first take care of our upper body. So place your hands under your head, interlace your fingers, and then pull the skin of your skull away from you. Donc on entrelace les mains à l'arrière du crâne, on tire la peau du crâne vers l'arrière afin d'allonger le cou. So we're lengthening in the neck and then place your head down. Bring your arms not against your body, not in a T, but somewhere in between where your shoulders can be relaxed. Donc si vous sentez que vos épaules sont toujours crispées, so if you feel that your shoulders are still tense, you might want to press into your head, maybe roll the shoulders under a little bit. On veut rouler les épaules un peu en dessous, en poussant dans la tête, en levant les épaules. And then as you come down, wiggle yourself into a comfortable pose for your arms, for your shoulders. Press into your feet slightly. And again, roll your tailbone towards your heels. On roule le coccyx vers les talons, so the lower back comes onto the floor to rest. Lengthen your left leg to the left corner, your right leg to the right corner. And then slowly release your feet. And we're ready for Shavasana. On est prêt pour la relaxation finale. So relax your forehead, on relaxe le front. On relaxe la mâchoire, relaxing the jaw. Relaxing that space between your eyebrows, l'espace entre les sourcils. So almost as if you feel that your eyebrows are rolling off your head to the side. So the right one goes to the right, the left one goes to the left. And the skin around your nose, same thing. Right goes to the right, left goes to the left. Your cheeks, your throat, your chest. So relax from the center to the side. That's the direction of gravity anyway. Your hips are also opening and going to the side. Don't make any movement. Just see if you can feel that sensation of letting go and opening up. Your feet might just gently move a little bit more to the outside, but don't initiate the movement. Releasing, letting go, being in the moment. And since we're all practicing from home, you can stay here as long as you want. If you're ready for your day now, reconnect with your breath. Gently inhaling a little bit longer, not deeper, longer. Et expirez un peu plus longuement, sans force. And then slowly moving the toes, on bouge les orteils, les doigts, the fingers, the nose. Maybe gently swaying your head from side to side. please, if you need to lay down longer, do so. I really should watch the clock and let you be in Shavasana a bit longer. And then since it's the beginning of the day, bring your legs together. Take a big breath in and stretch.